In my elementary school, there was for the last grade, which was 6, it was split into 2 groups, so 6 and 7. And I was in the 6-7 part, and couldn't wait to go to high school because I felt I wasn't challenged enough. And then, so when I got to high school, it was a lot easier. I mean, not easier, but it was a better environment, older kids there, so you kind of look up to them and want to be on the senior side of the high school, not the juniors. And but I was very proud to finally be able to go to high school. I did. I had one Inuit teacher who taught Inuktitut, and I think that's it. Oh, and then I had another one that taught like life skills, sort of. But that was in grade 11, I think. Yeah, so I had one for Inuktitut, and that was all right. It was kind of very laid back class. And then the one for life skills was a lot, she was more adamant about learning. So sometimes they're just regular teachers. Yeah. A lot. Every day we had Inuktitut classes in the morning, but they're short classes. You have a 1-hour class and then a 2-hour class, and they were always 1 hour. And mostly what we did, well, you have to do writing in Inuktitut and translating from Inuktitut to Roman orthography, which is easy enough. And then, or you can sew and do stuff. It wasn't a really big deal of a class. So a lot of times everyone's just lying down on the floor playing games mostly. Not really. I mean, we did do Inuktitut learning, but I guess it's like how much you actually want to learn. And most of it, well, everyone speaks Inuktitut anyways, and except for me. So it's just like it was mostly an hour of just getting to chat with your friends in class. Yeah, yeah. And then there would be movies, and it was very laid back class. Okay. I think a lot of high schools were like that too. Yeah. Small classes, they were cool. You actually see who you're learning with, and like how much. I'm a very competitive learner, so when I got to see what my classmates, how good they are doing, and I try to be better than them. I like those small size classes, but then at the end it's ridiculous how small the classes are. I had a graduating class that was 7 people, and most of my classes were just 4 of us all the time. So it's kind of both ways of how small the classes are. My first class was the size, I think, 25 kids, and it was like that up to grade 9. Yeah. And then a lot of people started dropping out. Okay. Yeah, or being pushed back. So, yeah, it was fairly big size classes. Sometimes they had to split us into 2 groups, because up to grade 9 there was about 40 of us, and then it cut in half in grade 10, and then cut in half again in 11. I think it has a lot to do with culture. I don't know. I don't know why people quit school. Because it's grade 10, it's when classes start getting tougher and stuff. So I guess a lot of kids didn't want to go to school. And then there's some people's families need extra help and stuff like that. And then motivation gets really low. So yeah, I think I don't know. I was told to go to school, so I wasn't allowed to even consider quitting or be late. So I didn't have the same kind of upbringing that a lot of my classmates had. But yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with motivation and parents not pushing their children. There's a point in high school where there's a lot of coming and going of teachers, and when you're a teenager, you meet maybe 15 teachers every year, and you just kind of, well, you know what? I don't care anymore, so we're gonna just not listen to you. And it was like that a lot. So me, I wanted to learn. I wanted my classmates to learn too. I wanted them to listen, but that was what frustrated me the most, because there's not a lot of respect for new teachers at the beginning of the year, and then halfway through it's the same thing. It's just you come back from Christmas and all the teachers had gone home and they're back up here or back up north and with tans and blah blah blah, so you just tease them again, you know. There's not a very good relationship between students and teachers, brand new teachers at least. It really depends on the teacher, actually, because in grade 9 we had this teacher that was brand new, and she was really, really good. We liked her right away, but she was cool. Like, she wasn't shy, and I think a lot of teachers that go up north can't be shy, or they're gonna be taken down, you know. But some teachers stay for maybe 3 years, and that's mostly when everyone's starting to get used to you, and they're like, oh yeah, you're actually here for more than a year, good for you, and then they leave. So I took a year off. I joined Canada World Youth, so that was 6 months, and I traveled for those 6 months. And then while I was gone, my parents moved to a different community, so I never got to go back home and really share what happened, which is unfortunate. But so yeah, when my program finished in March, so I had like another 6 months before school started again, so I worked quite a bit, and that's pretty much, and then I decided, or I wanted to go to university right away, and I was very iffy about going to NS, but I realized, oh, most universities their applications are already cut off, so I'll just try NS to go to school, because I didn't want to live up north anymore. I had heard some stuff about how it's not very beneficial, but my brother had gone and he said it was really great. But then I heard that I get funding from fans, and I heard that they only fund for students for 4 years, and I heard that if you go to NS, that's a whole year, and then you have only 3 years of funding. But then that turned out to be a lie, so it's like, it's financial assistance for Nunavut students. I saw it on a commercial when I was in high school, and at that time I had really bad sleeping habits, and my mom was awake one night while I was watching TV, and I was like, the commercial came on, and I was like, I want to join that. She said, why don't you just do it? Go to bed. So I went up and applied, and just one of my old teachers said it never hurts to apply for anything, so either you'll get it or you won't, and if you do, then you can make your choice of actually going. So I applied, got an email back, and they said, oh, you're kind of a maybe, maybe not, so we're going to interview you. And I did a lot of volunteering in high school, so I thought it would be cool to volunteer somewhere else for free. 'Cause I like to travel, but it's so expensive. Yeah.
Where did you travel to?
I went to Africa with them, but a couple years before, I went to Australia by myself for a term in high school. Yes, it was fun. It was good. They really know what they're doing here. They understand the high school situation in up north. So, like, my writing skills weren't that good. So I learned how to actually write a proper essay here. And then once you learn that, you're just bam, 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 essay every week. So it's really, I loved NS. I felt like, oh, I'm finally learning something I could use in my life. So that transition was really good, because first we get a week to paint the town red, you know? All these small town kids in a city for the first time. So go crazy, and then they take us out into the country and settle us down. And that was really good. And then you just have 20 new friends that are all in the same boat as you. So they really know what they're doing here. That was like hitting a wall. Oh, I was so culture shocked when I went to university. All my classes in my life have been like 20 people in a classroom. And then you go to university and there's 400. I'm like, oh, this is so hard. And the campus is ginormous. And so you're like lost looking for your class. And then you have to buy your own books, which are crazy expensive. And I had a major culture shock. But I just so happened to know of someone that is going to Carleton, and she helped me out a lot. And after a while, like by November, I was starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. And then exams come up, and then you're just like, I have to find a new place now, and study and study and study. All you do is read. It scared me for a long time. Yeah, even this year I'm still trying to get used to it.
And what year are you in this year?
I'm in second year. Yeah. And then also you realize in university you're kind of working towards something, like a goal, what you want to do with the rest of your life. And I found it really helped because now I know what I don't want to do. Yeah. Yeah. And you have to get used to a lot of Southern ideals in university. Okay, so I took environmental studies, and where I grew up, the environment is very important to you, and like it's your life, your well-being. And then here, they're kind of teaching us, or I felt they were teaching us stuff that weren't making sense to someone that was actually going to live in the environment. And I didn't really understand, why are you teaching all these people that aren't even going to be out in the field kind of stuff about, you're just brainwashing everyone. Like, for example, one of my first geography classes, right off the bat, they said, you can't destroy the land, you can't go seal hunting, or you can't kill animals. It's totally against the law of nature and blah, 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 blah. Like, well, that's ridiculous. And then at the end of the class, someone had asked, what kind of job can we get with this degree? And he said, well, you can get all kinds of jobs. You can go up north and go there for a year or two and make a lot of money, and then you could leave and do whatever you want. And I was like, this is why no one wants all these Southerners to go up north, because that's their goal, to make a lot of money in 2 years and then they're gone. And I was so upset about that, because he had told everyone in that class, which is size 350 people, he just told 350 people that that hunting is bad and you can't do anything. And then, but you're telling them to go up north where everyone hunts and stuff like that. So I dropped that class. I'm not going to participate in this. So I started doing other stuff. Yeah.
That would be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had an environmental ethics class too, so a lot of my papers have something to do with my background and my opinions on the environment, and I always get C's. The grammar's all good, it's just your point of view, which made me upset too, even more. So it's very different ideals than up north. Yeah. But then I changed to human rights class and history, modern history, which was different. It's just general ideas of life and actual history, so it was a lot easier this year than it was last year. Well, for my human rights class, we did about 2 weeks of Aboriginal rights. So that's when I felt my voice was being heard a bit, because it's a large class once again, but they split us into groups for discussions. And when someone was saying, I don't think there's a big deal with Aboriginal rights, and I was like, no, you're wrong. And you can kind of fight some stereotypes that are in people's heads here, and I felt really good to be able to get that out to a small group, but people were listening. So, but then the history is just history. So, at first I didn't know, like, why am I still here? I don't think I'm working towards anything. But then I was talking to someone and they said they had a degree in something, and it didn't really matter, but I wanted to be able to say I have a degree in this. So that's pretty much my motivation. I want a degree in something. Next year, I'm either gonna transfer schools or take a year off or take distance courses, but I don't think I'm gonna be coming back here. How come? Because I'm homesick. I guess pretty much it. I don't like what I'm doing right now. I don't really have a goal yet. So I want to figure out what I want to do. So I'm thinking law school somewhere. There's this program up in Igloolik. Every couple of years they offer law school for 4 years, and I'm hoping they start it up again soon, because I wouldn't mind doing that for 4 years up north where I live. But I also want to do international affairs somewhere that's not in Ottawa. I've lived here for 3 years. I'm kind of ready to move on. Yeah, but I still want to be in school. I just need to figure out what I want to do. I want to be the MP of Nunavut. Just kidding. No, I want to do something like, I want to work with the government of Nunavut, and I want to better Nunavut a little bit more. So hopefully I'll be up there, working there. I don't know what yet, but there's a lot of talk about this devolution thing going on in Nunavut, which is Inuit controlling Crown land in Nunavut. So I want to be able to help out with that. We were talking about this last summer, and it's like, wow, this is really interesting. And I felt really excited about it. So I think I want to do something to do with that. Well, if you're going to university, there's a lot of distractions here in Ottawa. So keeping a level head, trying to keep a level head is really important. And I see a lot of my classmates working so hard to get an A, and I wish I was like that, but unfortunately I'm a very distracted person. But it's something that you have to be motivated and passionate about, which I think would be awesome to feel. Then you'd want to go to school more. I think about half of us went on to other education. Only 16 of us graduated, so that's about 8. And I think the rest got jobs or started a family. Yeah. But yeah, the ones that have gone on to other school have been like college courses, so like year or 2 courses. And most of them, I think, have graduated. But some people also had the culture shock that I experienced and have not finished. I heard that if you go to Frosh Week, is it Frosh Week?
Yeah.
Like orientation for universities really help out students a lot. That's what I heard. I never got the chance to do that. Unfortunately, I wish I did. But I think if I had went, I'd be a lot more comfortable because and I guess you kind of have to have a idea that this is a new community you're going to. There's like hospital there, there's food there, there's places to sleep if you live on campus. But I thought it was just going to be like going to a classroom and then you're out. But now you have to kind of find your way in this new little community, I guess. So you've got to be prepared that there's going to be people pushing you around. So you got to be kind of strong, you know? Like, no, don't step on me. Yeah. I think it's like you going into a new community, feels like, because you know no one. And you got to find your way around town, and you have to learn where to go if you need this or this. And you got to find your classroom. So, like starting a new life somewhere else. Yeah. I'm kind of thinking that it has to be a lot more strict, because it's so laid back. People don't have like, oh, I'm not going to be punished if I don't go to this class kind of stuff. So I think it has to be a lot more strict, but then at the same time, if it's too strict, students are just going to be like, whatever, man, I don't want to be here. You're pissing me off. So it's kind of, I don't know how they're going to fix that. And then there's also curriculum, which needs to change. And I think they're starting a new curriculum in September, which is awesome, because the thing about NS is that you learn about Inuit culture and how Nunavut was created. And I grew up in Nunavut, and I had no idea about any of this stuff. So if it's available in high school, I think a lot more kids will be interested in learning, because all you do is learn about World War II or how the British or the Boston Tea Party happened. Stuff like that. I mean, it's not all interesting stuff, but it's not a lot of use up north. And the history is important, but we also need to learn about our own history. And I think that really needs to be put in place. You gotta learn your own history, because when I learned it, I had a big sense of like pride and like, this is why we have Nunavut, and you know, connecting the dots. And I feel like if it was available in high school, a lot more people would be interested in it too, and maybe the graduating classes would grow a bit more, because people are going to attend those classes, hopefully. Yeah, mostly curriculum, and Inuit teachers too. Gotta get Inuit teachers, because then that's like a bonus, because it's someone you know, and they're not gonna leave in 2 years unless they want to. But, and then it's cool because your teacher is Inuit and has a degree in this or that, which I think would be so much cooler. When I was growing up, there wasn't a lot of people in my community that had gone to post-secondary school, and if there were, I didn't know who they were, or, you know, what did they do? What are they doing now? I don't see you anywhere, you know. So, yeah, if you get more Inuit doing stuff, then there won't be such a big need for Southern teachers. I mean, they're cool. I've had really good Southern teachers, but it'd be a little bit more cooler if, say, my mom was a teacher or someone like that. Yeah. I think those are my three main things I would change.
That's great.
Yeah.